Hey guys, welcome back to Just Piddling Barbecue. I was hoping to have a couple of videos up by now, but last weekend a bug jumped on me and I got sick. Had a fever and body aches and sore throat and all that good stuff, so it's taken me about a week to get over that. So I still got some sinus stuff going on, but I apologize for that, but we're going to get a cook going today anyway. It's Christmas Eve, so I'm going to do a Christmas Eve Boston butt. Couple things I want to cover before we get started with the cook. The first thing is, what equipment are you going to use? Everybody's got their own opinions about how to cook a Boston butt, especially down here in southeast Georgia. Everybody does Boston butts and they always think that their way is the best. Here's my opinion on the equipment that you use. The product that you put out is not going to be determined by the grill that you use. It's going to be determined by you and how you can use that grill that you're using. A lot of people will argue that, you know, a kettle grill is the best way to go. A lot of people will argue that a wood fire grill, offset smoker is the best way to go. A lot of people like the new pellet grills. A lot of people like gas grills. Everybody's going to say that their method is the best. My recommendation to you is use the grill that you feel most comfortable with and that you think you're going to be the most successful with, and you'll put out a good product. That's the best advice I can give you as far as what product to use. Second thing is how you're going to set up the grill and how you're going to do the meat. I'll show you a little bit later, you know, how I'm going to set my grill up and everything, but a lot of arguments are, my brother and I were talking about this on the phone last night, so I told him I'd add it to the video because it was a good conversation about how there's always an argument about fat cap up or fat cap down. Do you trim the fat cap? I'm going to tell you exactly how I do it. You do it the way you want to do it. I'm going to do it this way because it's my backyard and it's my Boston butt. And that's the way you should do yours. Have fun with it and do it the way you want to do it. My philosophy on the fat cap, I'm going to trim it. The one that I'm cooking today had a thick, it was a 1/2 inch thick fat cap on it. I trimmed it down to about 1/8 of an inch, and then I sliced it crossways, made a little hatch cut on it before I put my oil and my rub on it. Some people say they don't trim it at all. Well, my experience, that whole fat cap is not going to just dissolve in the heat and baste that Boston butt. In my opinion, it's not. My experience, it hasn't. So I like to go ahead and trim it. Second thing is, I put my fat cap down. 2 reasons. First part is I want a nice bark on the top, and the second reason is when I put it on the bottom, that kind of gives me a little bit of a little more air room on the bottom, because it kind of acts as a barrier between the meat and the heat source. And that's just how I do it. The third kind of opinion I have about the fat cap is, why would you want to leave all of that fat on there if you want to try to put some smoke onto that meat? All you're doing is smoking the fat, and in the end that fat is going to wind up in the trash. So you want to kind of try to get down to the meat if you can, so that you can put some smoke into that meat. Otherwise, you're just smoking fat, and I don't eat smoked fat. So that's my take on fat cap up or down, whether you trim it or not. I trim it, and I always go fat cap down. So with that, I'm getting the grill ready to go, and I'll talk to you more about my setup and what I've done to the butt so far when we get to that point. So stick with me and let's get going. All right, now we're out here at the grill. We got the grill fired up. I'm using my gas grill today. I've got a Charbroil commercial infrared 4-burner. You know, I've been told a bunch of times you can't cook a Boston butt on a gas grill and make it come out right. Well, I'm telling you, you can, and I'm fixing to show you you can. At the end of the day, when this Boston butt comes off this grill, it's going to be a Boston butt that my mama's going to be proud of. And I'm here to tell you it's going to be good. Do it just like I tell you to do it, and you'll get the same kind of product. It's going to be running on about 250 to 275. This is an 8-pound butt. Okay, I've got it right here. Now let me tell you what I've got going on, how I've set it up so far. Last night, trimmed the fat cap. Trimmed the fat cap, cut it cross-hatched, rubbed it down with olive oil. Some people like to do mustard. I just don't really care for mustard that much. I like the way olive oil makes it absorb that rub. Rubbed it down with olive oil. I got a homemade rub that I use. I'll put a link down in the description box of the ingredients of the rub. Scattered it with that rub, rubbed it in real good, wrapped it real tight in saran wrap, stuck it in the fridge overnight. So it's been in the fridge marinating in this rub and olive oil for about 12 hours now. All right. So right now, here we go with the butt. Top rack. Right there. Now, underneath is going to be my drip pan, and in that drip pan I'm going to put some water about halfway up. Might add a little more in a minute. And then I'm going in with some pure apple cider vinegar. Going in. And you can just fill it just about all the way up. There you go. Now, two things this is going to do. Number one, it's going to add moisture to the air as it cooks, keeping that meat moist. Number two, it's going to add some flavor. Everything about this whole thing is going to be trying to add flavor at as many points as you can. So I've rubbed it down with olive oil, put my rub on it, trimmed the fat cap off a little bit, marinated for 12 hours. Now I got it on the top rack with my drip pan underneath with some water and apple cider vinegar. That's going to add moisture and potentially add some flavor to it as well. My heat source, I've only got one burner on. Let me see if I can turn you a little bit. I've got one burner on, and that's the far right burner, and I've got it on medium. Okay, I've got my smoker box with some apple wood chips in it. But what I have found in the past is that the wood box, the smoker box, takes too long to heat up to start creating smoke. So what I've done is I've put my wood chips, raw wood chips, on the side over there so that they can go ahead and get started. By the time they get started good, then my other wood chips will be going. Okay? And that's what we've got. Close the lid, let it roll. This is an 8-pound Boston butt. I expect it to cook between 8 and 9 hours. We're going to check it in a little while and see how it goes. Talk to you then. Alright guys, I'm about 4 hours in. Grill's running at about 300 degrees. We're going to open it up. And I've got some pullback on the bone. It's about where I want it to be right now, so I'm fixing to foil it. Okay? So I'm fixing to pick it up, transfer it to a pan with 2 layers of tin foil. Wrap it up. Wrap it up tight. Wrap it up nice and tight. Now keep in mind that the fat side is still down and I want to keep it down. Place it right back on the grill. Drop it down. And we'll crank the heat up just a hair. And then let it roll.